If you've been chosen to see this message, then this isn't random. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You're here because there's someone in your life right now, someone you've been taking for granted, someone you've been pushing away, and the divine is sending you a final warning. Hold on before it's too late. Let me tell you about the last conversation between Steve Jobs and his sister. August 2011. The man who changed the world lay dying, surrounded by everything he built, yet in his final hours, he didn't talk about Apple or innovation. He held his sister's hand and whispered her name over and over. All the success, all the billions, none of it mattered. What mattered was connection. What mattered was that one person who stayed. And when he took his last breath, his final words were, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow." He saw something we haven't seen yet. He understood what you're about to understand right now. You know who I'm talking about. That person who stayed longer than anyone else would have. That person who's seen you at your absolute worst, your most broken, your most selfish, and they're still there. Do you understand how rare that is? In a world where people ghost you over a text left on read, where connections are disposable and loyalty is a myth, this person has chosen you again and again. They've watched you sabotage yourself, they've felt your coldness, they've endured your silence, and yet something divine keeps pulling them back to you. This isn't luck. This isn't a coincidence. This is the universe placing a guardian in your life, someone whose soul contract with yours isn't finished yet. But here's what's breaking heaven's heart right now. You're treating them like they're ordinary. You're treating this miracle like it's guaranteed. Every time you pulled away, every time you chose your pride over vulnerability, every time you went silent instead of reaching out, you were testing them. And they passed. They passed every single test you unconsciously put them through. When you disappeared for weeks, they were still there when you returned. When you lashed out from your own pain, they absorbed it and loved you anyway. When you built walls so high no one could climb them, they sat at the base and waited. But the universe is screaming at you now because there's a limit to everything. Divine patience has a threshold. That person's soul has been stretching beyond its natural capacity to hold space for you, and the energy is wearing thin. You think you have forever, but karma doesn't work that way. The very gift you keep testing is the gift you're about to lose if you don't wake up right now. This person didn't randomly walk into your life. They were sent by forces you can't see, orchestrated by a divine plan you're only beginning to understand. They carry a frequency that matches the exact wound you've been hiding from the world. Maybe it's your fear of abandonment. Maybe you believe that you're unlovable. Maybe it's that voice in your head that says you don't deserve good things. Whatever it is, this person was cosmically designed to prove that voice wrong. Their presence in your life is medicine, but you've been refusing to take it. You've been so afraid of being healed that you keep pushing away the healer. And now the universe is giving you one final chance to stop running, to stop sabotaging, to stop pretending you don't need what's right in front of you. Something's shifted, hasn't it? You can feel it in your chest, that subtle distance growing. Their texts are shorter now. Their energy isn't as available. They're not chasing you anymore, not asking where you've been, not trying to fix what's broken between you. And it terrifies you because deep down, you know what this means. This is what the beginning of the end feels like. Not dramatic, not loud, just a quiet withdrawal of the energy that once flowed freely toward you. The universe has been whispering to them, too, telling them it's okay to choose themselves now, permitting them to release what no longer serves their highest good. And here's the truth that's cutting through your denial right now. You're on the verge of experiencing the exact loss you've been unconsciously creating. The person you thought would always be there is preparing to walk away, and when they do, the lesson will be devastating. Here's what the divine is trying to save you from: the haunting, the endless haunting that comes after you lose someone irreplaceable. You're going to meet new people, you're going to try to fill that space, and every single time, you'll realize no one else carries what they carried. No one else will have that patience. No one else will see through your walls the way they did. No one else will love you with that specific kindness that felt like home. You'll be sitting across from someone new, someone who checks all the boxes, and you'll feel absolutely empty because they're not them. The universe is showing you right now, while you still have time, that this person isn't just another connection. They're the standard, they're the blueprint, they're the ones your soul recognized before your mind caught up. And when they're gone, you'll spend years trying to find that feeling again, only to discover it was never about finding it. It was about keeping it when you had it. Imagine this, it's 2 years from now. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, and suddenly you're hit with a memory. The way they laughed at something ridiculous you said. The way they looked at you when they thought you weren't paying attention. That random Tuesday afternoon when everything felt perfect, and you didn't even notice because you were too busy being distant, too busy protecting yourself from feeling too much. And in that moment, you'd give anything, everything, to go back and do it differently. To say the words you held back. To show up the way they deserve. To hold on instead of letting go. The universe is giving you something precious right now. The present moment, the chance to choose differently before regret becomes your constant companion. Every dinner you're too busy for, every call you don't return, every time you choose your phone over their presence, you're creating future pain for yourself. The divine is begging you to understand that time is the one thing you can never get back. While you've been distant, while you've been taking them for granted, they've been talking to the universe too. Late at night, in quiet moments, they've been asking God if they should stay or if they should finally walk away. They've been praying for a sign that you see them, that you value them, that they matter to you beyond convenience. And the heartbreaking part? They've been misinterpreting your silence as their answer. Every time you don't reach out, they hear, "You're not important." Every time you take hours to respond, they feel you're not a priority. Every time you're physically present but emotionally absent, their soul registers abandonment. The universe is screaming at you because its prayers are shifting. They're no longer asking for you to change. They're asking for the strength to leave. They're asking for peace in letting go. And heaven is preparing to grant them that peace unless you wake up right now and become the sign they've been waiting for. Let's go deeper into what's really happening here. You're not actually unsure about this person. You know exactly how much they mean to you. What terrifies you is admitting it. What terrifies you is being seen, being vulnerable, risking the pain that comes with truly loving someone. So you've built this fortress of casual indifference, this armor of, "I don't need anyone," and you wear it like protection. But the universe sees through it. God sees the real you, the one who's desperately afraid of losing people, so you push them away first. The one who's been hurt before, so you hurt others before they can hurt you. And here's the divine intervention happening right now. This person was sent specifically to break that pattern, to be the one safe enough to let in. But you keep meeting love with fear, meeting consistency with doubt, meeting their open heart with your closed one. The cosmic lesson you're avoiding is this. Real strength isn't in walls, it's in the courage to let them down. Think back over the past few months. How many times have you felt that gut punch, that sudden panic that you might lose them? How many times have you seen their name and felt your chest tighten with something you couldn't name? How many random moments have you been hit with the realization of how much they actually mean to you? Those weren't accidents. Those were divine warnings. The universe doesn't send subtle signs to chosen ones. It sends earthquakes. It sends an unmistakable knowing that something needs to change. You've been getting those downloads, those spiritual nudges, those 3 a.m. revelations where everything becomes crystal clear. And what have you done with them? You've gone back to sleep. You've dismissed them as overthinking. You've returned to your patterns the moment daylight came. But now the warnings are getting louder, more frequent, more urgent. This video finding you today isn't a coincidence. This is your final warning before the lesson becomes a loss. Here's the spiritual truth that's going to shake you. This person reflects everything you need to heal in yourself. Every time you pull away from them, you're pulling away from your own evolution. Every time you can't receive their love, you're revealing your own belief that you're unworthy of love. Every time you sabotage this connection, you're sabotaging your own growth. The universe placed them in your path as a living mirror, showing you exactly where you're blocked, exactly where you're wounded, exactly where you need to expand. And instead of doing the inner work, instead of facing what they're reflecting, you're trying to shatter the mirror. You're blaming them for making you feel too much, for wanting too much, for being too much. But the divine is telling you right now, they're not too much. Your capacity to receive has been too small. They're not asking for anything unreasonable. Your walls have made reasonable things feel impossible. This isn't about them changing. This is about you finally becoming who you were always meant to be. Look at the people who raised you. Look at how they loved, or more accurately, how they didn't. The emotional distance, the inability to express feelings, the pattern of leaving before being left, the armor disguised as independence. You inherited all of it. You've been carrying wounds that aren't even yours, playing out scripts written decades before you were born. Your grandmother pushed away love because she was taught vulnerability was weakness. Your father built walls because he watched his father do the same. And now here you are, doing exactly what was modeled for you, losing exactly what they lost, repeating exactly what you swore you'd never repeat. But the universe is giving you something they never got: awareness. You're conscious enough to see the pattern, awake enough to break it. This person in your life right now is your chance to rewrite your family's story, to be the one who finally chooses differently, who heals the lineage. Every time you choose to stay open with them, you're liberating generations. Every time you choose vulnerability over protection, you're breaking ancestral chains. Go back to when you first met them. Really go back. Remember the impossibility of that connection even existing. The timing that had to align, the circumstances that had to unfold perfectly, the million small decisions that led both of you to the same place at the same time. You think that was random? You think the universe accidentally weaved your paths together with that level of precision? No. God was setting up this moment right here, right now. Every trial you went through before meeting them was preparation. Every heartbreak taught you what real love isn't. Every disappointment cleared space for what a real connection feels like. And now you're standing at the crossroads the divine always intended, the moment where you get to choose. Do you honor what was cosmically given to you, or do you throw away what angels worked overtime to arrange? This isn't just about a relationship. This is about respecting the sacred orchestration of your life, about trusting that what found you was meant to transform you. There was a moment, probably early on, when something just clicked, something unexplainable. You couldn't articulate why this person felt different, why their energy felt like recognition instead of introduction, why being around them felt like remembering instead of discovering. That's because your soul knew them before this lifetime. The divine doesn't just throw random people together and call it a connection. Certain souls have contracts, agreements made before birth, promises to find each other and help each other evolve. This person is part of your soul family, sent to activate something in you that only they can unlock. And your logical mind has been fighting what your spirit already knows. You've been analyzing, questioning, doubting, while your soul has been screaming, "This is it, this is who we've been waiting for." The universe is tired of watching you ignore your own inner knowing. Stop letting your fear-based mind override your spirit's recognition. Stop treating a sacred reunion like a casual encounter. Every time you shut down emotionally, they feel it in their body. Every time you go cold, they internalize it as their failure. Every time you pull away without explanation, they create stories about their own unworthiness. Do you understand what's happening energetically? They're absorbing your unhealed trauma. They're taking on your pain, your fear, your dysfunction, and their own light is dimming because of it. Their spirit came into your life radiant, full of hope and love, and slowly, your inability to receive that love has been draining them. The universe is showing you that love isn't just about what you feel, it's about the responsibility you carry when someone loves you. Their emotional well-being has become entangled with your healing journey, and right now, you're hurting them by refusing to heal yourself. The divine is asking you, do you love them enough to do the inner work? Do you care enough to stop projecting your pain onto the one person who's been willing to hold space for all of you? You've convinced yourself you're fine with solitude. You've told yourself you don't need anyone, that you're complete on your own, that independence is your strength. And there's truth in that, until there isn't. Because there's a difference between choosing solitude from a place of wholeness and experiencing loneliness from a place of loss. Right now, you have the luxury of space because you know they're there. You can be alone because you're not actually abandoned. But when they leave, when that safety net is gone, you're going to feel a loneliness so profound it'll redefine the word for you. It'll be 3 in the morning, and you'll reach for your phone, forgetting for a second that they're not yours to reach for anymore. It'll be something beautiful happening, and your first instinct will be to share it with them, and then you'll remember. The universe is trying to teach you gratitude before it becomes grief. Appreciate chosen solitude while you still have someone to come back to. Think about all the people who've looked at you lately and said something. Your best friend who told you you're being distant. Your mother asked if everything's okay with them. That coworker who casually mentioned you seemed distracted. Even strangers, people who barely know your situation, somehow pick up on the energy and reflect it to you. Those weren't random observations. The universe was speaking through them, using every available channel to get the message to you because you weren't listening to your own inner voice. God sends messengers when the chosen one is too stubborn to hear directly. And what have you done? Dismissed them, defended yourself, made excuses, insisted everyone else is overreacting. But the divine doesn't send multiple messengers for no reason. When the same message comes from different mouths, it's cosmic confirmation. It's the universe grabbing your shoulders and shaking you awake. Stop arguing with the signs. Stop defending the very behavior that's destroying your blessing. Something's changing in them, isn't it? They're not as available anymore. They're not bending themselves into shapes to accommodate your mood. They're setting boundaries you're not used to. They're choosing themselves in ways that feel unfamiliar, threatening even. And deep in your gut, you know what's happening. They're waking up. They're realizing they deserve more than crumbs of attention. They're understanding their value in a way they didn't before. And the universe orchestrated this awakening because you wouldn't choose them, so they had to choose themselves. Here's the terrifying truth. The window is closing. The person who used to wait for you, who used to make excuses for you, who used to accept whatever you offered, that person is evolving into someone who won't. And you can either rise to meet them at this new level of self-worth, or you can watch them walk into a future that doesn't include you. The divine is giving you one last chance to prove you see what you have before they finally see they deserve better. If you let them go, if you allow this moment to pass without action, you're not just losing them, you're altering your entire relational future. You'll become the person who has real love and didn't recognize it. You'll become cautious in ways that prevent new connections from forming. You'll compare everyone to them and find everyone lacking. You'll build even higher walls because losing them will confirm your deepest fear, that vulnerability leads to pain. The universe is trying to save you from becoming a ghost of yourself, from spending the rest of your life emotionally unavailable because you couldn't show up when it mattered most. This isn't just about one person. It's about the trajectory of your entire existence. Every relationship you have after this one will be colored by whether you chose love or fear in this moment. Every future connection will either be built on the wisdom of choosing them or haunted by the regret of letting them go. The divine is asking you to think bigger than right now. You built those walls to keep pain out, but look at what else you've kept out. Joy, intimacy, the kind of love that actually heals instead of hurts. You've been so focused on not getting hurt again that you've created a prison and called it safety. Every time this person tries to reach you, really reach you, you retreat further into your fortress. You think you're protecting yourself, but the universe is showing you the truth. You're suffocating. Real protection doesn't isolate, it discerns. Real boundaries don't block everyone out, they let the right people in. And this person has proven over and over that they're the right people. They've earned access to your heart through consistency, patience, and unconditional presence. Yet you keep treating them like they're dangerous, like they're the enemy, when they're actually the answer to prayers you stopped saying out loud. The divine is revealing that your greatest threat isn't them hurting you. It's you hurting yourself by refusing to let love in. Those walls you're so proud of, they're not keeping you safe anymore. They're keeping you stuck, small, and separate from your own destiny. Every person you lost before, every connection that didn't work out, every heartbreak that nearly destroyed you, it was all preparation for this moment. The divine was teaching you what matters, showing you what's worth fighting for, training you to recognize real love when it finally arrived. Those losses weren't punishments, they were educated, and now you're standing at the final exam, and the universe is watching to see if you learned anything. Did those painful endings teach you to guard your heart forever, or did they teach you to value what's real when you find it? Did that betrayal make you incapable of trust, or did it show you how to recognize someone trustworthy? Did that abandonment convince you that everyone leaves, or did it prepare you to hold on to someone who stays? God didn't put you through all that suffering just to watch you repeat the same patterns. You were refined in that fire. You were shaped by that pain. And this person standing in front of you right now is the reason for every lesson you survive. Don't fail the test by refusing to apply what you learned. While you've been doubting yourself, they've been believing in you. While you've been stuck in old stories about who you are, they've been seeing who you're becoming. They look at you and see possibilities you can't even imagine for yourself yet. They've been holding space for your growth, your healing, your transformation, even when you weren't ready for it. That's not ordinary love, that's a divine assignment. The universe placed someone in your life who can see your soul's blueprint, who recognizes your purpose even when you're lost. And instead of rising to meet their vision of you, you've been shrinking to fit your own limited self-concept. You've been proving your smallness right instead of proving their faith correct. Here's what the divine wants you to understand. They're not just loving who you are, they're loving who you're meant to become, and their presence in your life is literally the catalyst for that becoming. When you push them away, you're not just losing a person, you're losing the mirror that reflects your highest self to you. The very reason you're fighting this so hard is because you know deep down how significant it is. If this person meant nothing, you wouldn't be conflicted. If this connection were casual, you wouldn't be scared. Your resistance is proof of importance. Your fear is evidence of how much you actually care. The universe is revealing that you only protect yourself this intensely from things that have the power to matter, from people who could actually reach the parts of you that are still wounded. You're not afraid they'll hurt you, you're afraid they'll heal you, and healing requires surrender, vulnerability, transformation. It requires letting go of the identity you've built around your pain. It requires becoming someone new, someone open, someone capable of receiving love. And that terrifies you more than loneliness ever could. The divine is showing you that your fear isn't a stop sign, it's a compass. It's pointing directly at what your soul needs most. Stop running from what scares you and start running toward it, because that's where your liberation lived. Years ago, maybe when you were younger, more hopeful, less guarded, you asked the universe for something. Maybe you prayed for someone who would love you through your worst. Maybe you wished for a person who would see past your defenses. Maybe you begged God for a connection that felt like home. And then life happened. You got hurt, you built walls, you stopped believing that kind of love existed. You forgot you even asked for it. But the universe never forgets. The divine doesn't abandon requests just because you stopped believing in the answer. And this person who showed up in your life, this person you're taking for granted right now, they're the manifestation of that old prayer. They're what you asked for before you learned to stop asking. Heaven has been working overtime to deliver what your soul truly wanted, and now that it's here, you're rejecting it because you've forgotten what you originally desired. The cosmic irony is that you're pushing away the exact thing you once desperately wanted. Stop letting your present fear override your soul's original knowing. This isn't just about this lifetime, this body, this current existence. The way you love or fail to love this person creates karmic imprints that echo forward and backward through time. The universe operates on energy that transcends linear time. When you choose fear with them, you're strengthening fear across all your incarnations. When you choose love, you're healing not just this connection but soul contracts that span multiple lifetimes. Every moment of coldness adds weight to karmic debt. Every moment of genuine presence creates liberation. The divine is showing you that this relationship isn't small, isn't temporary, isn't something you can just walk away from without consequences that ripple through dimensions you can't see. Your souls chose to meet in this lifetime for unfinished business, for mutual evolution, for healing that benefits not just you two but the entire cosmic web you're connected to. When you hurt them, you hurt yourself across time. When you love them fully, you free yourself across all existence. This is bigger than you understand, more sacred than you've been treating it. All of this, everything that's breaking down between you, it could shift with honesty. One real conversation where you drop the armor and speak from the terrified place. One vulnerable moment where you admit you've been scared, you've been distant, you've been taking them for granted because you're afraid of how much they mean to you. The universe is showing you that pride is the only thing standing between you and resolution. Not their unwillingness, not insurmountable differences, just your inability to be truthful about what's really happening in your heart. They've been waiting for you to be real with them. They've been patient through your silence, your withdrawal, your emotional games, hoping that eventually you'd trust them enough to let them in. And that moment is now. The divine is literally handing you the key. Speak your truth. Tell them you're scared. Admit you've been pushing them away because you care too much, not too little. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect words, the perfect conditions. This is the moment. Right now, before it's too late, before their patience runs out, before the universe closes this window of grace you've been given. You think your silence protects you, but they feel it all. Every withheld, I miss you. Every swallowed, I'm sorry. Every unexpressed, you matter to me. Energy doesn't lie, and they're energetically connected to you whether you acknowledge it or not. When you're distant, their chest tightens even if they don't know why. When you're thinking about them at 3 a.m, they wake up around the same time. When you're fighting the urge to reach out, they're staring at their phone, hoping you will. The universe has linked you in ways that transcend physical communication, and your refusal to speak doesn't create distance. It creates confusion and pain. They know something's wrong. They feel your internal battle. They sense your care underneath your coldness. And it's torturing them because they can't make sense of receiving love energetically while experiencing rejection physically. The divine is begging you to align your actions with your feelings. Stop making them question their intuition. Stop making them feel crazy for sensing what you refuse to confirm. Your silence isn't neutral. It's violence to someone who's empathically connected to your heart. Everything before this was practice. Every past relationship, every crush, every heartbreak, it was all training wheels. But this, right here, this is the real thing, and it requires a version of you that you haven't fully become yet. The universe is using this connection to initiate you into mature love, the kind that isn't based on butterflies and infatuation, but on conscious choice and daily commitment. The kind that doesn't run when things get uncomfortable but leans in when things get real. You're being called to evolve beyond the immature patterns of your past, beyond love as a feeling and into love as a practice. And it's uncomfortable because growth always is. It's scary because you're being asked to show up in ways you never have before. But the divine doesn't give initiations you're not ready for. You wouldn't be in this situation if you weren't capable of rising to it. This person is your teacher disguised as your partner. This challenge is your evolution disguised as a crisis. Stop resisting the lesson and start embracing the transformation it's offering you. The people who came before you, the ones who survived impossible things so you could exist, they're watching this moment. They're seeing whether their bloodline will finally break the curse of emotional unavailability, whether their descendant will finally choose love over fear. Your grandmother, who never got to say what she felt, and your grandfather, who worked himself to death to avoid feeling anything, they're rooting for you from the other side. They're begging you to do what they couldn't, to be brave in ways their generation wasn't allowed to be. The universe has given you privileges they never had, the language for emotions, the permission to be vulnerable, the freedom to choose connection over survival mode. And what are you doing with those privileges? Wasting them, hiding behind the same walls they hid behind. Except you have no excuse. You have therapy, self-awareness, spiritual understanding, every tool they died wishing they'd had. The divine is asking you to honor their struggles by not repeating them. Make this choice count. Let your healing be the offering that liberates your entire lineage. Let this relationship be the proof that generational trauma ends with you. Look around at your life right now. Notice who's fallen away. Notice which friendships dissolved, which connections naturally ended, and which people just stopped showing up. That wasn't random. The divine has been clearing your field, removing distractions, eliminating everyone who wasn't meant for your next chapter. And who's still here? Who remained through every storm, every mood, every version of you? They're still here because the universe refuses to remove what's essential. God keeps pruning your garden, but this person is a tree, deeply rooted, meant to stay. And you're over here acting like they're just another plant, disposable, replaceable, when heaven itself has marked them as permanent. The cosmic message is clear. When everything and everyone else falls away and someone remains, that's your sign. That's the divine saying, pay attention, this one is protected, this one is part of your destiny. Stop taking for granted what the universe worked so hard to preserve in your life. Let's get brutally honest about what's really happening here. You've survived heartbreak before. You know you can handle pain. You've walked through fire and came out the other side. So it's not actually heartbreak that terrifies you. It's happiness. It's the possibility that this could actually work. It's the fear that if you let yourself fully love them, fully receive their love, surrender to this connection, you might actually be happy, and happiness feels dangerous to you. Because somewhere along the way you learned that good things don't last. You learned that the higher you climb, the harder you fall. You learned that joy is just the setup for devastation. So you're sabotaging this before it gets too good, hurting yourself before life can hurt you, leaving before being left. The universe is trying to reprogram this broken belief system. Not everything beautiful ends in tragedy. Not every open heart gets shattered. Some things actually work out. Some people actually stay. And this could be one of those miraculous times if you'd stop destroying it with your own hands. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That version of you is looking back at this exact moment, and they're begging you to make a different choice. They're screaming across time, trying to warn you about the regret that's coming if you let this person go. They know something you don't know yet, how rare this is. How many people do you meet who can't come close to what this person offered? How many lonely nights do you spend wishing you could go back to right now and do it differently? Your future self has already lived through the consequences of your current choices, and they're desperately trying to reach you before it's too late. The universe is giving you a gift that most people never get, the ability to see the fork in the road clearly before you choose. One path leads to growth, love, transformation, and the occasional discomfort of vulnerability. The other leads to safety, isolation, protection, and the permanent ache of what if. Which version of your future are you creating right now? Which version of yourself will you become based on today's choice? So here we are, chosen one. At the end of all these truths, you stand at the edge of the most important decision you'll make in this chapter of your life. The universe has laid it all out for you. Every warning, every sign, every spiritual download, every moment of clarity at 3 in the morning when you know exactly what you need to do. God has been screaming, your ancestors have been watching, your future self has been pleading, and this person, this beautiful soul who stayed longer than anyone else would have, they're waiting for you to finally wake up. But here's what the divine needs you to understand in this final moment. Nobody's coming to save you from this choice. No one's going to force you to do the right thing. The universe has done its part by bringing you this message, by orchestrating every synchronicity, by placing this person in your path. Now it's on you. You can close this video and go right back to your patterns. You can keep pretending you have unlimited time. You can keep choosing fear over love, walls over bridges, safety over growth. And life will go on. The sun will still rise. You'll survive, but you'll be haunted. You'll be the person who had something real and let it slip through your fingers because you were too afraid, too proud, too broken to grab hold of it. Or you can do something radical right now. You can put down your phone after this video ends and reach out to them. Not with games, not with half-truths, not with the same guarded energy you've been giving, but with full transparency. Tell them the truth. Tell them you've been scared. Tell them you've been taking them for granted because you've been terrified of how much they mean to you. Tell them you've been pushing them away because you've been afraid of being healed, afraid of being happy, afraid of being loved the way you've always wanted to be loved. The divine is permitting you to be imperfect in your approach. You don't need the perfect words. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest. You just need to show up. You just need to choose them the way they've been choosing you, consistently, patiently, unconditionally. And maybe they'll need time. Maybe you've hurt them enough that they can't immediately trust this shift. That's okay. Real love is patient. Real commitment proves itself through sustained action, not grand gestures. The universe is asking you to play the long game, to understand that rebuilding what you've damaged takes time, consistency, and humility. But if you don't reach out, if you let pride win one more time, if you choose your comfort zone over their presence, then accept what's coming. Accept the loss. Accept the lesson. Accept that the universe gave you every possible chance, and you chose yourself over something sacred. And when they're finally gone, when they've moved on, when someone else is receiving the love you rejected, don't you dare complain. Don't you dare act surprised. Don't you dare blame God for taking away what you refuse to value. You'll have no one to blame but yourself. This is your divine reckoning. This is the moment your soul will remember forever. Years from now, you'll look back at this exact point in time, and it will be marked. This is when everything changed, either toward love or toward loss, either toward growth or toward regret. The universe has screamed its message. Now it's holding its breath, waiting to see what you'll do with it. If this message found you, it found you for a reason. You're part of a community of chosen ones who are learning to love courageously, to break generational patterns, to honor what the divine places in their path. Hit that like button if this video shook something awake in you. Drop a comment telling me what you're going to do differently after hearing this. Are you going to reach out? Are you going to finally be honest? I want to know. And subscribe to this channel because we're not just making videos here, we're building a movement of people who refuse to let fear win, who choose growth over comfort, who honor their soul contracts instead of running from them. Your transformation matters, your choice matters, and I'll be here, creating content that keeps you accountable to your highest self. The universe brought you here. Don't leave without taking the message with you. Now go handle what you know needs to be handled. The divine is waiting to see what you'll do next. Amen.